So we ended up doing 12 miles yesterday walking. Uh, haven't really given ourselves our legs much of a break since we've done this 10 days in a row of a lot of walking. So today we picked places all within close walking distance. Nijo Castle is only a 20-minute walk away. The Imperial Palace for Kyoto, so the former emperor's place, is closed on Monday, uh, which is a tourist place. You wouldn't think it'd be closed, so we'll do that tomorrow. The Katsura Imperial Villa is close by too. That's open 24/7 supposedly. Uh, and there's a couple of museums close by. So we'll stick around the area here. And we're in food shambles. Nick's in shambles because thinks he can't review food properly. That's fine. We're just doing this for fun, just to show mostly what the food looks like. And I'm in shambles because I've set a reservation for a yakitori place, and they canceled the reservation on me. So we're just doing Ichiran ramen tonight because that stuff is really good. And there's one also within walking distance of us, of our hotel. So before the trip, I had made a list of foods to eat here, and we have actually covered all of them except two: udon and yakitori. We have udon place picked up for tomorrow, and eventually I will get into a yakitori place. All the yakitori places are izakaya. Izakaya are like reservation room places, and they canceled the reservation on me because they couldn't contact me. Now they can't call me. That is true. Because I know English phone, American phone, and we don't want to avoid the international stuff. But they can email me, and they didn't do that, so they just canceled the reservation on me. So I got to figure out something to do to get the yakitori. But yeah, that's our plan for today. We're gonna first hit up the oyster place we skipped yesterday, and then we'll go from there. We're at our oysters place here. We got to set up the order off the pad here. We got quite a variety of different things. His alcohol tasting abilities with a potato thing now. Sweet potato. And he says it's interesting. So that schlub Nick ordered a gratin with his oysters. We're getting a batch of fresh raw oysters too. But here are my fried ones I'm just gonna steal now that he's conveniently decided that it's worth stealing mine. We won't show his food. We won't show his food review because he's in shambles, but here's the oysters. So there's the main course. 4 types of oysters, so 4 each for us. Yeah, look pretty good. We'll go in now. There's the oyster gratin that Nick insisted on. They gave 2 of them. I don't want one. I want to eat my fried ones and the good one. These wings are amazing in the middle here. I love those. But I've had oysters quite a bit, so this is Nick finally getting to experience the splendor of oysters for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
In our defense, the fish did not look this big in the picture. This is a lot of food. And lastly, some tempura vegetables because these slap. And we're gonna finish off our fish. Honestly, we went through this rather quickly, so we can eat quite a bit of food. So we're at Nijo Castle here, well, on the outskirts of it. We have to go in through the gate over there. So I've seen the Campbell Castle. It's in shambles, sheep shit everywhere. But Nijo Castle, less in shambles. Though to be honest, it looks a lot like the Imperial Palace at Tokyo with the gate little setup. But I suppose it was I don't know history, but I think that was a thing of castles, wasn't it, that they had moats? So maybe I'll actually read the things inside with little plaques. Nick reads them. I'm too busy vlogging and taking pictures, so maybe I'll do that to actually learn about Nijo Castle. So here's proof I actually read the... Go ahead. Consider dude stuff thing I take a picture even though I'm just vlogging. So I actually read that this time. My knowledge of Kyoto is from Rurouni Kenshin, so I'm good at knowing the fall of the shogunate. But other than that, you can actually learn stuff here. So here we are. This is one of the main gates, very pretty thing there. Very fancy. There's a lot of open space here, so I wonder what's actually in the castle courtyard. I don't know if courtyard is the right word for a Japanese castle, but so we'll go through. So we weren't allowed to take pictures or vlog in the actual Nijo Castle area, but we did a little tour of it, which is cool. Just a couple of, describe some of it. One is that the floorboards squeak and it's called like crazy. It's called the nightingale floorboards because supposedly it's supposed to sound like the nightingale bird. It was unintentional. It just wear and tear has made it sound like that. Secondly, there's a bunch of tiger murals in there, and the depictions of them are not actually based on seeing tigers. They're based on the pelts of tigers that were brought in, because there weren't tigers in Japan in the 1600s when this thing was built. So there's a lot of fictionalization or interpretation of the artist based on what the pelts of the tiger looked like. And so the tigers in there look like kind of dragon-esque. Now, I actually read the plaques in there for the history, but this is the one part of Japanese history I do know from anime. So Rurouni Kenshin, the series, takes place 10 years after the fall of the shogunate into the Meiji Restoration era. But the OVA, which is the best part of Rurouni Kenshin, Trust and Betrayal, actually takes place during the transition of power from the shogunate to the Meiji Restoration. So this is Nijo Castle is where the transition officially happened, where the meeting happened for that. There's an aspect to which that's kind of sad, because it's 1867. That's really the beginning of modern Japan. It's also kind of sad because of the fall of like traditional Japan, samurai, shogun, and stuff like that. It's also kind of sad because it was the start of their fascist period for Japan. It would begin after the Meiji would be the Taisho, and then they would join Nazi Germany in World War II. And then after that, they would have their second sort of restoration period, massive transition. So it was an exciting period of time because it was the start of modern Japan with sort of centralization after the scattered era of the shogunate. But it's also kind of sad because it was the end of like the traditional era of Japan. So now we're in the gardens of Nijo Castle. It's interesting that the gardens here are not what us Westerners call traditional Japanese gardens, which we saw at the Ginkakuji Palace yesterday, the silver one. Those are traditional Japanese gardens by what we mean, which was like the water area there, more like that. But this is just a garden with lots of like type of pine tree things, which is pretty similar at the Imperial Palace. So it's interesting that what we call the traditional Japanese gardens aren't actually present all that much in the two historical areas. So I wonder what the history about that is. Like, this is closer to what a traditional garden, Japanese garden, is, with the close hanging stuff to the water and the more showy, flowery types of flowers. Went off the beaten path. Oh, hey, look, there's actual flowers on the plum tree. To see the plum tree grove. And you can believe it, there's no actual plums on any of these trees.
Stop potting, dude.
We've been gypped, bamboozled, and possibly hoodwinked. But it is indeed not actually the harvest season for plums. But you know, I just sort of figured they just have plums all year round because they like, I don't know, do special things with these trees. But yeah, not much to actually see here. So we have an area in BG where you can feed the koi. It's a lot cheaper to do that, but it's 200 yen to feed the koi here. So yeah, we will just resign ourselves to watching. And here's a guest appearance from the pigeon. And here we have just a beautiful, beautiful shot of construction going on in the back part of the Nijo Gardens. So we're on top of the Tower Keep, or what was the Tower Keep now. Easily the smallest view of overlooking part of Kyoto we've had, but see a nice view of the moat from down here. But yeah, it's honestly nice to climb a small set of stairs this time to get our view. There is a trash can in my good, clean, historical Japanese moat. Shaking, as Nick would say, shaking SMH my head. And if he says that one more time, I'm throwing him somewhere. So we're missing Daddy Kyle right now to navigate because Nick has taken us in a circle. But I guess our new thing is to hit up all the best coffee shops in Kyoto, so that's what we're going to next. So I didn't actually look at any of whether or not the places in our area were open, and for some reason they're all closed on Monday. It must be an Asian thing because that's often the case with restaurants in BG as well. But we just got out from a very quaint little coffee place. And it was very legit because they roasted the beans and stuff and everything. I got a thing called the Ethiopia, Nick got a thing called the Okinawa. I had to put on my big boy pants because it wasn't sweet and had to try and actually savor the complex flavors. But it had a lot of unique stuff in there. Mine had a hint of berry along with the coffee stuff. So I'll let Nick do the talking for this one.
Mine was like...
Because Nick says it's the best coffee he's had.
Yeah, it's like a citrusy note. I don't know, and it wasn't bitter at all. Like, it wasn't...
No, mine wasn't bitter.
It was really nice. Just very, very light and fruity.
But yeah,
10 out of 10.
I don't know if it's the best coffee I've ever had, but it was very good.
Oh, cool. You don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee, so I'm not much of an expert. But yeah, we're going to the Kyoto Railway Museum now.
It needs at least 5 pounds more sugar.
We could have used a little bit more sweet in that, but for coffee it was pretty good. So we took the worst train ride possible to get to the Railway Museum. Neither of us really care about trains, but we're here anyway. We're gonna walk back anyway. We're gonna break our quota of not doing much walking today. We're still not doing much walking total, so it'll be fine. So, but yeah, here are the trains. And actually, these bad boys look pretty cool up front.
Yeah.
And I think they might even let me touch it, just because there's no staff around here. Touch. Like you can see inside. Like Nick's an engineer. He should be like.
These are pretty cool.
We should be figuring out how these bad boys work. Yeah, you can sort of see the progression of the trains here. Because we got the traditional steam engine to like some 1940s American shit into the trains we take all the time at the end there. So this is the country known for trains. So here we are. So we're here to document the fall from classiness in transportation. So here's the old trains. And you see you got the little table setups here. And then we're gonna work our way across here to the modern bullet train here. And it's just all functionality. Look at this, just all function, efficiency. So I mean, this bad boy goes really fast, but we sacrificed comfort and stuff for putting more people on here. The extent which is good, so the train's not a luxury item, everyone takes it now. But like, the least we can do is get me a dining car on the bullet train, right? Doors are open and that group walked in, so I'm doing it too. So we're walking in the train here. And right back out because I am avoiding social interaction with people. So we're in. Huh?
It smells old.
It smells old, huh? We're in the model train. Oh, we got the bottles here. So I'm not into these sort of things, but Uncle Hong, if he ever sees this, he'd be into this sort of stuff. He likes building these sorts of things. It is a surprise to no one that when you look at the trains different countries used, that the Americans pick the one where it looks like a giant wine bottle at the back of the train. No surprise at all. I'm not into trains, but the dedication of this museum is pretty impressive. They've made their own station here to get a 1960s feel for taking a Japan train. I get the feeling that one's not a 1960s train here, but they made a whole station setup to practice the building here. They filled this with fake souvenirs and stuff in there that you can't get to emulate train station. There's an underground area here, so you can go see the under part of the train under this area. It's probably the last thing I vlog for the Railway Museum, unless I find something extra cool. But yeah, they let you walk underneath the train with this little glass thing here, which is pretty cool. Well, it's pretty scary because big ass train above us. Well, I won't occupy, but here's where you sit down in the train to conduct it. Thank God we never let me in here for an actual one. So we're here to do Ichiran Part 2, the one in Kyoto. My stomach is pretty upset, which means I probably shouldn't be eating ramen, but we're here to eat good food. So I'll just have to suck up and deal with it. And Nick ordered more alcohol, typical for him. But yeah, Ichiran's amazing, and we're back here again because my yakitori reservation got canceled, so I have to figure out something new for yakitori. You just love to see it. Divine, exquisite. Cleared my pores, cleaned my skin, watered my crops, and fed my people. Ichiran Ramen, the GOAT. See that bowl of lava? All gone. This is how a champ does it. I didn't train on those spicy instant noodles for nothing. So we had a Monka's moment where I left my phone in Ichiran, so thankfully we're only 12 minutes away from the Ichiran here. So I got to the hotel, I was like, fuck a doodle doo, Nick was on the shitter. And so we made him come back here, and then we had a whole process to get my phone back, because apparently I'm not the only one to leave their phone there. They wanted to prove it was mine by calling it, but unfortunately I keep my phone on silent, but thankfully even on silent it still shows up as a call. So I got my phone back. Thankfully, my phone cover was out. We had a lot of trouble communicating. Thankfully, it was my phone cover. I came in clutch because my phone cover is your name, which is Kimi no Na wa, which I do know. So I was like Kimi no wa, making a rectangular shape with my phone, with my hands, and they figured it out. So I got my phone back. So disaster averted. Pretty close call. Tomorrow we're gonna do a variety day, I guess. We got a figure shop to go to, a cat cafe, and there's one more place. We'll think of it, but yeah, we'll do a variety day tomorrow.